Well, it's another Friday and the boys from Chabad have come around again to lay tefillin with me. It's the only time in the week that I lay tefillin and I look forward to it. The young men are great, always got a good Devar Torah to share with me, and I really do look forward to it.
Was bekommt mir die ämse Broches von der Nebischen, wo das verbunden mit Memsen Sipu Knafschi, mit der ämse Befriedigung, und das durch dem nicht mehr macht noch einander, nur mir sagt, als alles, was der Ebischer hat gegeben, oder ihr, entwickelten das in der Fulster Moos, wo das der ämse Reis, der ämse Recht und ämse Kirches und Schluss, wo der Ebischer hat gegeben, jeder Mensch, Allahs Kammer wie Kammer, jeder Rieden, zusammen mit den Möglichkeiten und den Kirches, was bekommt, gibt mir die Möglichkeit. Soll sie entwickeln in der Fuß der Mord.
When David and Baruch started coming, initially I think for Paul Pellman, who had at the time a brain tumor, and Greg Sanders, whose parents were going through tough times health-wise, and thought it would be good to do so, Lake Tefillin on the eve of Shabbos. I got involved. I've sort of always had a spiritual side to me that I feel I've had. I used to put on tefillin for 10 years after Bar Mitzvah, and I feel it's a nice, at least, I don't do much anymore. My dad was, before he passed away, we always went to the synagogue together. I miss those times. So to me, this is putting on the tefillin and seeing my friends on the Erev Shabbos is a reminder of my family, my dad, and sort of the spirituality that I feel, and I enjoy it.
Hi, my name is Bill Forberg. I want to thank the fellows for coming, because they certainly add to my Friday when they do come. I think I'd like to say that they learn a little bit from me when we meet, but I got to say, I think I learn a lot more from them. It's not often that a 66, 67-year-old man can sit with 20-something-year-old boys, men, and have a discussion about things that are more meaningful than I may have had for the most part of my life. So a lot of those little meetings that we have together, I treasure. And I've told the boys, too, how lucky they are, because they come from a different set of goals, a different set of looking at the world than maybe men did that grew up here in the 50s and 60s like I did. So I think they do a tremendous mitzvah by going out, and I enjoy it very much. I often look forward to actually meeting with them, because they also give me an opportunity to try and teach them and give them what little bit of knowledge.
Well, about 13, 14 years ago, the boys first came and were looking for another lawyer who happened to be unavailable. And then they asked our receptionist whether or not there was anybody else they could meet with, and I was put forward. And since then, I've been meeting with the boys every Friday for a little bit and going over Devar Torah. And from that first time, a suggestion was made to me to perhaps host an event here if it was possible, and with the thanks to my partners who agreed, we've been hosting for the last 13 years an annual Purim Lunch and Learn, and we've been fortunate to have a turnout that's grown from 13 or 14 people who attended from the downtown core on Purim to sometimes over 60 people in the most recent years that come out for a delicious lunch, a few l'chaims, learn about Chabad, and learn about Purim. And it's been an amazing, amazing turnout that my firm supports, and I'm proud to be a part of. So my personal thanks to Chabad for sending 2 boys each week, every Friday, to come and see me and to see others in the downtown core. And there are many different groups of students that go out and service very different areas. But I'm thankful that they came here, and I met with them 13 or 14 years ago, so that we could start this tradition at our firm of a Purim Lunch and Learn, and make sure that I get some learning in every Friday before Shabbos. So my personal thanks, make a l'chaim to our good friends this year, and hopefully we will continue this tradition for many years to come, and in peace and in health and in Yirtzeh Hashem in Yerushalayim.
I'm Ethan Yaffe. I always appreciate the young guys here pop by the office on Friday, do a quick wrapping of tefillin. It's great. It's a good way to start the weekend, and it just connects me a little bit more to my Jewish roots, and it's always appreciated, and I look forward to it every week.
I met at some number of years ago right at the corner of Bay and Queen prior to Hanukkah, giving out Hanukkahs, and I still have that one actually, which I use to this day at Hanukkah. And so I had an epiphany when in the last month, and it's related to you guys and it's related to something else. My children go to a Hebrew school, which I was opposed to because I come from a secular, albeit Israeli upbringing. And I had an epiphany in the sense that I see now the value of them learning the religious studies as well, because it has occurred to me that I didn't really know this, but they have taught the children code for how to live your life, all the mitzvot, etc., etc. And only now that he has just graduated, and my daughter who is about to graduate as well shortly, that has now dawned on me, and it's to some extent because of you guys too. I didn't see it until I started reading all this stuff and got more into it. So the person who is the most surprised by that is me, because I didn't think it was going to happen. Being a lawyer in downtown Toronto, on Bay Street, it's busy, busy, busy. It's very, very demanding, and if you don't stop and think, you're not going to stop and think, right? And it gives me a chance to stop and think. I'm grateful that you guys come.
My name is Yaakov Lambert. The Bachrim that I met, we were one time walking to get lunch. I saw them, I said good Shabbos, and then they said good Shabbos. Then we walked on. Then like 30 seconds later, they come up to me and go, "Did you put on tefillin?" I said, "No, I haven't." So then they said, "You want to put it on?" I said, "Sure, I'll put it on." And then from there, they started coming once a week on Fridays. And I started learning the Tanya, and through them, the Tanya and my learning partner, and then also going to see the Rebbe's kever, I've become more religious than I was in at least over 10 years.
Und unter dem ist mein Beemes ein Mensch beschleimus, worin geht in seinen Weg, macht nicht noch kein andere und ist nicht mit kein andere, worin mit ihm gegeben den größten Glück, was sie kann sein, ist muss in den nebelsten Käfers und durchführen den nebelsten Schlichus in der Fußter Mord.
So for all those who are in the downtown core next year, March 6th, that's a Friday, noon till 2, I cordially extend an invite on behalf of my firm, Robbins Appleby, to come out and attend our 14th annual Purim Lunch and Learn.